Well, the National Guard isn't the only issue on the Cabinet's agenda. Tens of thousands of Israelis turned out for a 13th week of protests against the Prime Minister's planned judicial overhaul, which Ben-Gvir supports. Bernard Smith reports from Tel Aviv.
A tumultuous week in Israel ended as it began in Tel Aviv and elsewhere, with mass protests against government plans to overhaul the judiciary. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his coalition partners from the far right want to give politicians more power to appoint Supreme Court judges. They say the court is elitist and intervenes too much. The protests and a general strike prompted Netanyahu to pause the legislation. He's promising to find a compromise with opposition groups. Few here believe him.
Even President Biden doesn't believe him. Nobody believes him. Even his own coalition doesn't believe him. And we think that now it's the most dangerous time of all.
And we're very worried that something will just, they will stop the negotiation, just bring the law to vote. The
biggest fear that I can think about it is his future as in a dictator's country.
The protesters are from across the political spectrum, including supporters from Netanyahu's Likud party. Netanyahu, on trial for corruption charges he denies, says the overhaul is needed to balance the branches of government. On Sunday, Benjamin Netanyahu will hold his last cabinet meeting before the start of the Jewish Passover holiday. They'll, of course, have seen these protests, but in that meeting there'll be a lot of pressure from Netanyahu's far-right coalition partners to push on with this attempt to overhaul Israel's judiciary. Bernard Smith, Al Jazeera, Tel Aviv.
David Sur is a former district commander of the police in Tel Aviv. He joins us now live from Tel Aviv. David, good to have you with us. What's your view on the formation of this new armed unit? Is it needed? Is it even a good idea?
Well, in general, it's needed, but not the way that the minister and the government were supposed to approve it today. I think we need to strengthen the existing force of the police, which is lack of 2,000 police officers for, in general, for regularly policing duties. And it will be blessed if they will add those this budget and the police officers, which they want to do in this program, but under the commissioner and under the police. It's not only by the economic sense, it's also by the meaning that we can't accept that there will be any kind of law enforcement which is not under the regulation, the law, and order of the police commissioner. And that's it. I mean, it's very strange that the government will decide to create another police officers. And as your, I think, reporter mentioned before, the concerns that it will be kind of a private militia, or it will be parallel to the existing forces to work at the same territory with the different commanding, it will be a disaster.
Civil rights groups, as we were hearing, have expressed concern, fearing that this unit could be misused. From what you're saying there, you share those concerns?
Well, definitely we share those concerns, but I can tell you that there is so many obstacles that it won't happen. I mean, I think it's part of the political waves and issues that we're discussing those in the last 3 months. And I think you mentioned before, the timing of this decision came because of the political crisis that the Prime Minister is facing in his coalition. And the party of this minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, is put a lot of pressure because he wants to gain some points in his base on bringing this kind of unit. I think as the head of the Shin Bet, the commissioner, the legal advisor, everyone told the Prime Minister and the government, you could decide to strengthen the existing force. And we must say that since 2021, that the crisis were at that time in May, which there was a huge uprising and simultaneously uprising and demonstrations. So this force really have a big mission to execute, but it have to be under discipline of the police, on the civil rights of the police, using force only by the law and regulation. So that's a very crucial issue, and actually the police already started with that program like a year ago with the former government, and there are already like 900 police officers at that unit. Some of them were existed before, and some of them were added after that decision, and some of the reserve units, which coming from the border guard police, are being located to that National Guard unit. And that can be definitely being executed by that organization.
David, good to talk to you. Many thanks indeed for being with us. David Suhr there.